spider can. Spins a web any size. Catches thieves just like flies. Look out, here comes the Spider-Man. To him, life is a great big day. Wherever there's a hang, you'll find a Spider-Man.
So, the two MCU Spider-Man, I'm putting these both into one video because I've already reviewed them, but I'm kind of happy that I'm re-reviewing them because the first Spider-Man Homecoming video was awful. Speaking of the first Spider-Man Homecoming video, Spider-Man Homecoming is, I want to say, the most different take on the Spider-Man thing because they didn't just want to rehash the whole origin deal, and we kind of already knew the Spider-Man. He's a very different character, and I kind of like that. The movie was, of course, trying to take some, like, reference off of a John Hughes movie, you know, make it more of a, I said this in my review, but every movie kind of attempts to make it more about Peter Parker, but I don't think that's the right way to go. I think the right way to go with the Spider-Man is have it perfectly be about someone who is having difficulty controlling their life as Peter Parker and Spider-Man. It shouldn't be a Peter Parker movie featuring Spider-Man. And I think Homecoming pulls that off perfectly, where Peter wants to be Spider-Man, but at the same time he also wants to do his thing. Far From Home does it a bit better, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But Spider-Man Homecoming just does a really good job at it. I'm yawning. That's kind of annoying. Homecoming had a lot of good, like, action scenes. It kept up good with the action. The plot kept progressing well. Every character had amazing acting. Tom Holland, like I said, I'm still thinking about who's my favorite Spider-Man. Tom Holland or Andrew Garfield. Yes, Tobey Maguire is not one of my favorite Spider-Men. Woo. Tom Holland definitely does bring something new to the table. Each Spider-Man is very distinct, and I think Tom Holland himself is super distinct. I know people get it flack for, like, connecting to other movies too much, but that's kind of like, it kind of has to. That's just like the thing it has. I really like the movie. It's, like I said, the romance was kind of weird. Probably the weakest romance of all the Spider-Man movies, just because Liz just has, like, no character at all. I just don't, what? And they just don't, like, build her up good at all, you know? Okay, so between the two movies, I think Far From Home has a better villain, but this one has a better hero, because Spider-Man is just so much better in this film than I feel in Homecoming. And I want to put Homecoming above Far From Home, but I just watched Far From Home and I'm like, man, I really like this movie, because talking about Far From Home, it just has better John Hughes vibe. It's way better at the romance. It's way better at the normal Peter Parker stuff. And then it does a better job balancing the whole, he wants to be a normal kid, but at the same time, I know it kind of goes against what the first movie said. Well, not really. The first movie's moral was he needs to be a... See, people say that, but then a lot of people are like, well, the first movie was about him needing to be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, but now he has to be a bigger thing. That's just hypocritical, but it's not. It's Peter learned in the last film to be a little Spider-Man and enjoy the little things, stuff like that. And in this movie, he's tested on that. He's tested. It's not life is always changing, people. Out of the two, I definitely would put Far From Home above Homecoming, and Far From Home would probably right now, here's the list, be my favorite Spider-Man. I know it seems typical, oh, Brian just likes MCU. I really do. I just feel like they do a really good job balancing things. I really like Tom Holland. I really hate that I keep yawning. I know I'm not really going in depth into these movies. It's just because I'm not good at that. Far From Home also, like I said, it just did a good job balancing everything well. You know, the Zendaya was an amazing actress. They all did great. Jake Gyllenhaal was an interesting villain. I honestly don't know who's a more compelling, interesting villain to watch. I think Mysterio should have had more time to be evil. Sadly, they only bring it up at the end, which I know why they did that. I feel like the twist at the end was also good, because we all knew Mysterio was going to be this bad guy. Like, all the comic fans knew that, but how he was going to do it was an interesting plot twist. So I already did reviews on each of these movies individually. Y'all can check those out. They won't be in this playlist. Thank you guys for watching. Next time we're going to be watching the last Spider-Man film. Spider-Man and the Spider-Verse. So yeah, if you guys want to see me watch Venom or Morbius, then comment down below. See you guys next time. If y'all didn't like the review because I didn't go in depth, just know I really like these movies. Video over.